What's up, everybody? Sega Man 721 back here with another video. Hope everybody's enjoying everything they're playing. I know I am. Looking forward to upcoming games that are coming out. But I wanted to do a video of my very favorite, whoops, I forgot one here. Very favorite games. Fighting game. Very favorite fighting game of all time. My personal favorite. It's not Street Fighter. It's not SNK fighting games. It is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is my all-time favorite 2D fighting game. I know it went into 3D, but it started old school and it started 2D. So, what I want to do is show you all of my Mortal Kombat collection that I have. Some of these games are really going up there in price because of their how old they are. You know, I think some are still affordable, but there's a couple here that are not affordable. They're kind of affordable, but they do go up, and I've seen them in the very high ranges on Amazon and eBay. I don't really deal with eBay. I like Amazon better, but I've seen the prices really high. So, let's start out with the first one. That is Mortal Kombat 1 for the Sega Genesis. Now, this, as you all know, all the controversy around this, the Super Nintendo one didn't have the blood in it, and that really sucked, you know. So it turned a lot of people on to getting the Sega Genesis and getting the real Mortal Kombat. Now, I understand if it was for kids, for the one for the Nintendo, that's fine, didn't have blood. You know, that's cool. But if you want it in its originality, you had to get it on the Sega Genesis, and it was Mortal Kombat 1. This is a great game. In box. Awesome game. The next one here is Mortal Kombat 2, complete in box. They really upped the ante with Mortal Kombat 2, added more characters, like Reptile. Reptile was actually in 1. You had to unlock him somehow, and I think he was a distorted character. And I think you had to unlock him somehow or fight in the bottom of the pit where the nails are when you fall down there, if I remember correctly. But this is a great game, too, for the Sega Genesis. And it did come out on the Super Nintendo. And that is complete in box. Now, I don't really know too much of these really going up. And I think you're going to pay a little more for the Sega Genesis ones in the box with the book. Now, when you get the cart, just a cartridge, it's probably cheaper for you to go that way. Unless you want a complete set in box with manual. The other one here is Mortal Kombat 3, complete in box for the Sega Genesis. Another great game that came out. Yes, it does have the book, and I keep it in very good condition. And it is, I think this went to the Super NES too. But this was also another great game that added also more characters. You know, Striker and people like that. And I think what's his name? Cabal. I don't think Cabal was in 2. No, I don't think Cabal. But Cabal and some other people that they added to this, and it was pretty good. Some people were kind of skeptic about this 3, but I pretty much like them all, and it's also a great game. Another one here for the 32X is Mortal Kombat 2 on the 32X. Now, I did play this, and yes, it is a little bit better than the one on the Sega Genesis. You know, I guess the sound, realistic blood and gore, violence, you know, I guess the sound was a little bit better. You know, FX sound, you know, in it. And it's pretty good, you know. It is complete. In case. So that was another one that came out for the 32X. It added more stuff to it, you know. In the beginning intros and things like that. So this is pretty good too for your 32X. I don't know if it went up in price, but I know this one is up in price, and it is complete. It is the original Mortal Kombat on Sega CD. Now, back in the day, this beat every other system that had Mortal Kombat because it had the sound down. It had everything in it, just like the arcade. It also had a music video in it with a kid screaming Mortal Kombat. And it was just louder, bigger, and better. And this is the closest you're going to get to the arcade before the Xbox and all of them came out with their versions of Mortal Kombat and put it on the other games that came with it, like an unlockable game. And this has, I believe, has went up in price. I still have it complete with the foam in it. Great game for your Sega CD. If you can afford it, get it. I don't know, really no, I'm not saying like it's $100 or whatever, but I know it went up in price. I mean, you could probably get the disc cheap, but if you want it complete without it broken, the shell, you're going to pay. Another great game. Also, we move on to this one here. Now, this one here is the best Mortal Kombat 2, and it is on the Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn really upped the ante, beating out the 32X when it comes to sound and graphics and visuals. Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Saturn is the best Mortal Kombat 2 on any system, in my opinion. Sound-wise, crystal clear graphics, FX sound, this is a great, great game, and this does come very close, if not the arcade version, because I used to play it all the time in the arcade. And I think this went up in price too, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you could get the disc, but I mean, if you want it, you can't really get these anymore without them being broken. And if they are broken, you're still going to pay a higher price for them. So that's another one to add to your collection. Now, this other one here too, Ultimate Mortal Kombat for the Sega Saturn. This is another great game for the Sega Saturn. Gorgeous graphics, just like the arcade in the intros and everything. This is a great game to add to your Mortal Kombat collection. If you have a Sega Saturn, I believe this has went up a little bit in price. I'm not sure. It was complete in its shell and not broken. But you know, guys, a lot of Sega Saturn games are very expensive. So it's good to always keep them, not trade them in. You know, and I would never ever trade in my Mortal Kombats at all unless it was some kind of dire emergency, then yes, they would go. But that's just a keeper there. They always will be, and my son will probably inherit all this stuff anyways. Now, the most expensive game on the Sega Saturn Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I've seen this go over $100. I don't know what it is now, but I have seen it over $100. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I played Mortal Kombat Trilogy on other systems. It is complete. But everybody even tells me, even some PlayStation fans, they think that the Mortal Kombat on the Sega Saturn is better. And I do have both, and I think it is better. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But yeah, this is very expensive Mortal Kombat game for the Sega Saturn is Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Excuse me. Now I don't have it in case. It's kind of beat up, but it's an exclusive PlayStation edition of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Now I do have the cover. The game is in a folder thing. I'm gonna try to re-put it back together, but this is still good. It's still good trilogy for the PlayStation, but the sound is awful. It's muffled. The guy's voices, the sound effects of the fighting is kind of muffled, and it's a little bit blurry. You know what I mean? It's kind of cheap, kind of, but it's still a great game. Alright, another one we got here, some oldie but goodies. Let me show you this one here. This is Ultimate Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis. I don't have it in box. I heard this one is rare to find for the Sega Genesis. Yes, it is a little bit beat up, but I still own the game. And it's pretty good for the 16-bit system. Alright, now, I have Mortal Kombat. I want to get the shell open here. I have Mortal Kombat 3 for the Game Boy. Not bad. Not bad at all. I picked this up a while ago. It's a great game to add to your Game Boy collection. The other one I have tier 2 is the original Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy, which is another awesome for on-the-go game for your Game Boy. But I have to say, because these are color, these are better. The Mortal Kombat for the Game Gear is 10 times better to me, in my opinion, for a portable Mortal Kombat game for back in the day. The Game Gear version is, to me, a lot better than the ones on the Game Boy. The ones in black and white, they were pretty cool. If that's all you could afford or get, that's what you played. And I'm not saying it's bad, but this is better graphics, better lighting, and it's color. So it's another great game for the Game Gear. And the other one for the Game Gear I have here is Mortal Kombat 2. This is another game that is pretty good for the Game Gear. Same as the first one for the Game Gear. Graphics, color, lighting, gameplay is very good for on the go for the Game Boy. Another game I got here that's very good is, you've seen this before in a past video. It is Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the 64. Now, to me, this kind of can get up with the Saturn version. To me, it's not better than the Saturn version to me, but it gets up there fight mechanic wise. And there's also, like that character I told you about, Chameleon, that's in this. I think was exclusive for the 64 version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Alright, now we got some here for, let's see, Deadly Alliance for the Xbox. This was another great Mortal Kombat game. It's when it started going into 3D. It's pretty awesome. They added a lot of things to this. There's DVD content in here. A hell of a lot more characters. That is complete in the shell. Deadly Alliance was a great game. I beat it. It's an awesome game, and for at the time, it was just really good. Nothing to me could beat the Mortal Kombat when it comes to fighting games. Now this other one here is Mortal Kombat Deception. This is the collector's edition. Scorpio. This has where you could play chess. The Conquest Adventure on here is great. I beat it. It is awesome. And it also has a puzzle combat game on here, which is great. So, this was well worth the money. I didn't pay much for it. And I also got the little Scorpion 10 that come with it. It's a 10 card that came with it. And it is complete. So that's another great game to add to your Mortal Kombat collection. Now this one is really, really awesome. And it has go-kart racing in it also. It is Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Another one for the Xbox. All the characters. I think there's also the adventure in here. This is great too. This is awesome. There are so many fighters that you could be in this Mortal Kombat Armageddon. This is a great game, and it is complete. And it's just a great game all around, man. You can't go wrong with Mortal Kombat. This one I beat too. Mortal Kombat versus DC. To me, there should have been blood in it. It's okay. I beat it. It has the Joker and all in there. You know, I'm not really into DC that much. I'm more of a Marvel. But it's a great game. It's a great mix-up of characters, and it was very innovative at the time. And it's a great game to add to your Mortal Kombat collection. Now we have just Mortal Kombat, again, that was on the Xbox 360. Great game. You can be Freddy in these games and unlock different kind of characters. This was an awesome game, and I think it won Game of the Year at one time for Best Fighting Game. It's another great game for your Xbox 360. And now I also have this game. There's a sticker on it, but I'll show it to you. It is Mortal Kombat Unhinged or Unchained? Yeah, Unchained for the PSP. It's a great game. It has Tetris, like a Tetris game, a chess, and the Conquest also in this. The Conquest graphics is pretty cheesy, kind of goofy looking, but what do you expect for a handheld? This is a great game to add to your Mortal Kombat collection. Oh, we got a watch there. That is complete. So that's also another great one to add on the go. And last but not least, I do have another one. I don't think I have the case. Now, I don't have the case, but I will show you this. Real quick, I'll show you. I also have if I can get it open. Get it out here. Oh, I have Mortal Kombat on my on my Vita, PS Vita. This is actually the best handheld Mortal Kombat game. Is on the Vita. I do have the box, but it's not in my possession right now. I have it put up. But that's another great game to add to your collection. And it is actually the best handheld Mortal Kombat game that you can play. It just is. And last but not least, awesome game. Ed Boon and Company and Warner Brothers did a great fucking job with this game on the Xbox One. And it is Mortal Kombat X. This is a great fucking game. It is better. Yes, it is better than Killer Instincts. Killer Instincts is a great game and I love it, but it cannot beat Mortal Kombat and never will. Street Fighter can't put a candle to Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is the best fighting game and will always be the best fighting game. And that is for the Xbox One. Well, that's all I got today, guys. This video went a little long. I did have some stuff I did pick up. It's not much. I'm trying to save up to make another good video to add more things. A lot of things going on right now, so money, you know, is not tight, but excuse me, I have to watch some things. So I will have another video, and I hope you guys keep gaming. You know, like what you like, man. You know what I mean? Just enjoy life, enjoy gaming. Real, true gamers. You know, don't pay attention to nobody. You, if there's any system that you like out there, anything you want to play, don't feed into all the negative stuff, man. You know, people are bashing the Switch and, you know, and whatever. But I mean, you're not gonna, you know, Breath of the Wild is, you know, the Zelda. It's like #1 right now. It's a great game and people are liking it. So this is Sega Man 721 out, and I will see you soon with another video.